thing to get connected correctly. Are we live on Twitch? Not yet. We're live on Restream, and we're looking at the wrong screen. That is not good. Why is it doing that? Well, don't think there was anything too worrisome. And my camera's pointing the wrong way. Wow. All right. Professional stream start today. Okay, at least we're up and running on YouTube and not on Twitch. Why are we not on Twitch? Let's refresh that, see if that fixed it. See if the chat goes through. All right, chat goes through on both. And I think we're live on Twitch as well. Excellent. Chat goes through. And that obviously needs to be muted. There we go. I probably shouldn't be running that. Alright, chat went through, chat went through. I think we're up and running. So, today, as the title says, make sure there's anything weird going on under here. Today, we are going to look at Unicode characters. So lately there have been a couple of puzzles with Unicode characters. Let me just bring up a screenshot. For example, for somebody, these candles were pure black. And then for somebody else, yet again, they were colored. Thought I saw a screenshot, but I'm not seeing that now. And there have been other Unicode character issues in the past with, I think there were spotlights and like one Unicode character set on one browser had diagonal torches while the other one had lamps with arrows or whatever, I don't know. So what I'm gonna do today is, I'm gonna solve the problem today. Hey, time and tide for Neyman Bide. So today what I'm gonna do is, I want to find out how, because the problem is, there's probably lots of different Unicode characters that mean similar things, especially when it comes to arrows and things like that. So I can't just say, oh, everybody needs to use this arrow because somebody wants to put in an arrow in F puzzles. They don't know which arrow I mean, right? And they might not even have that arrow because, you know, I will pick one from some font and include that font, right? So the goal is to scan through all the puzzles I have, CTC puzzles and F puzzles from the LMD database, and just kind of do a histogram of all the characters used and how often they're used, and then find the most common basic ones, obviously characters and letters and so on, but the most common sort of visual iconic icons, Unicode characters, I mean, and then just see how many there are. Is it feasible to just include them as a custom font? But that's the thing, I cannot do that because I don't currently have a building tool, so the setters will never see whatever I do until the puzzle is ready, right? So the best I'm hoping for is that icons look similar across platforms. So, for example, hey, if the pure black candle is no good, and this is the better one, then I'll include this one, right? And probably what I'll do is I won't pick and choose each individual icon. I'll probably choose a font, a standard default font, whatever Chrome is using here, that has a good version of these icons in it, and then customize it to include just the icons we need. And then, put them up on a table on a page somewhere, and then people can say, oh, wait, the diagonal torch is more useful than the whatever, And then we can maybe adjust them a little bit over time, but mostly we'll just use, pick one browser, basically, right? Safari, for example, is usually pretty bad, or just has no support at all. If there's no support, then, it can't get any worse. So today is actually not going to be a super exciting stream, because most of the stream I'm actually going to build little scripts that just look at puzzle data and just kind of, so I'm actually going to be working a lot in the console. So I think I'm going to use my Sudoku data repo, right? Let's see if I can make this a bit bigger and move this so it's all on screen. So in Sudoku data, I already have a couple of places where I do certain things for extracting data and so on. So we're gonna make a folder for this project. Yeah, for now we're just gonna call it Unicode. And then we'll just create a file, scan puzzles.think.js, or do I want to go MJS? I think I'll just go JS, keep it simple. Right, and then we'll have scan puzzles. And then I'm just going to lean very heavily on existing scripts that I've done. So for example, we have this one. We have LMD fetch. Right, so we basically just, and LMD fetch is a JSON, right? So we can do this. We'll probably want to include these, and we'll probably move them into a shared folder. Or for now, I'll just do something like, oh, you know what? I'll just copy them over. It's fine. That's fine for now. Or do we? No, we'll just copy them one folder up. So we have. Ah, wait, they're already one folder up, aren't they? No. So we have puzzle tools, puzzle zipper, MD5 digest, and fpuzzles decoder. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna put them in a folder. I'm just gonna call that shared or libs. Boom, put them in here. So then we can just do this here. Let me make this a little larger for the screen. The stream? No, the stream. And we're just gonna put these in here. Like this. And if I run this, node scan puzzles, import fetch. So import fetch doesn't work on this one. So do I have type module, huh? And if I rename this to, can I not rename this here? If I rename this to MJS, I'm gonna find package node fetch from Unicode scan puzzles. So node modules is on this level, huh? Isn't fetch native in node fetch native? Isn't there a native version now? There must be a reason why I was doing it this way. Can I just not need that? Unexpected token export. Export default puzzle tools. What? Oh, is it? Do I really need to do this? Okay, sorry. I thought it'd be as simple as that. Although, if these are all gonna be, rip. So if I make these all MJS files, but I don't want to have to rename them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the package file. We're just gonna clone this one over, right? And we're gonna change this one, Unicode. Scan puzzles, node fetch, and then we can just rename this to JS again. Unexpected token export, npm I. Unexpected token export. Oh, God damn it. What if I put that one up into the root? Actually, what's in here now? All right. So if I move these up, there's nothing in the root right now. in Sudoku data, right? So if I go from Unicode and take these 3 items and move them to Sudoku data, and then from here, I look at package and just Sudoku data. I'll just do this, right? Can I now do this? Okay, now it works. Fine. All right, so the packaging wasn't applied to that. Nope. Good enough, good enough. So, we want to look at the CTC puzzles first. The CTC puzzles are a couple of folders up. So, CTC puzzle path equals. So we are here. So we're gonna go down 1. Going down 2. Gonna go into CTC app. Then we're gonna go into public, then staging, then API, and then I believe it's just puzzler. Yep. / puzzle. All right. And then we need to look at these, and we want to get import path from path. And we want to read the path. So node read dir. I think it's read dir. And here we'll just have a self async thingy. All right, and then we'll do no. And we should be able to do let dir equals await sp.read dir. You see puzzle that path. And see what we get back. Now we might get back just a list of a gajillion puzzles, which wouldn't be super helpful, but at least it'll work. Oh, okay, that's it. All right. All right. All right. Can we get the last one? Unshift. Shift. Okay, so there's no dot and dot dots on there. All right. So, we're just gonna get read a puzzle here. So we'll say let's read the file. Path.join. We're just going to say puzzle files. And here we're going to have this one. And then puzzle files 0. And we're just going to say puzzle files. Const puzzle file name. And then we'll just output that. I'm just building basic infrastructure right now. So once we can read one file, we can, process it, and then we can see about processing them all. It shouldn't take too long. Hey, Chaya. Chaya? I hope that's right. I didn't expect so many people to show up today, since it's an unannounced stream and during the day where the Americans are probably, well, maybe not asleep anymore, but probably not really around. Let me make that bigger. So, puzzle file name. Did I not save this? FSP read file is not a function. So read file has a capital F, doesn't it? Or is it file read? Read dir. Yeah. So here they did a capital F, but then read dir they didn't. I almost want to Google that. Node read dir vs read file capitalization. How the hell did that happen? They don't even mention it. They just... Okay. I guess we're just supposed to accept that. Inconsistent APIs. All right. Let's have a quick look at how we decode these. I'm sure I've decoded these before elsewhere, so instead of remembering it, I'm just gonna find the code for it. I did it for the API. So, and that's server-side code. API server. That's gonna be something like... Ooh. Get thump. Oh my god, I still need to clean that up. Get thump URL, get thump found, and fetch thump. But I'm decoding it browser side here. All right, let's just figure it out from scratch, right? So puzzle tools lib is I think we're unzipping it, right? So this is not valid JSON yet. So we're just gonna do puzzle tools unzip. No, it's puzzle zipper. We do puzzle zipper.unzip. All right, puzzle zipper. Unzip. Because this is not valid JSON. So that becomes valid JSON. And then we'll do JSON.parse. And then we'll have, okay, there we go. So we're gonna have a few helper functions, const decode ctc puzzle raw data, boom, boom, boom. Then it becomes basically just this. Like that. And then we'll do const load ctc puzzle path or file name. And it's going to be an async function. And it's basically just going to be these two, right? So we're going to have async this, and then we'll have decode ctc data that. And then we can just return that. Right. So we can just do this now. And ending. Oh, yes. Oh, wait. There we go. All right. So then really what we could do is we could literally just count these characters. And now that I'm saying count the characters, turns out we don't want JSON. We could also ignore these, but then, to be honest, in the end, all the letters and the basic symbols, I'm just going to remove them anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. So we'll probably skip the JSON part. So what we're going to do is ctc puzzle to string. And it won't do the JSON parse for us. Like that. And now it'll be a string of characters, right? And then what we can do is we can do create our map, right? Const char map like this. And then we'll just do a something like const add puzzle to char map. And that's going to be char map, puzzle, string. And since actually we don't care that these are puzzles, we literally just do this, right? So then what we're going to do is we're just going to do a basic loop. Oop. I smaller than length. Don't want the infinite loops here. Then we'll say if char map let char equals stri. Now this returns a string, doesn't it? We'll see. We'll see. If char map char equals undefined 0. Now we'll just do this. Boom. And that's it. Don't even have to return, but we'll return anyways. So then we can run this on the puzzle. And then we can look at our char map afterwards. Like that. All right. And then this gives us our first sort of indication. Ah, there's 218 full stops in there and so on and so forth, right? Lots of code symbols. Now, the interesting ones will be, you know, and then afterwards we kind of want to basically sort it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick char map display thing, but we don't do it. Yes, we'll do it right now because otherwise looking at this data is going to be a pain in the ass. So we're gonna do const print char map. And what we're going to do is, I think the easiest will be to turn it to an array first. And I think there is a JavaScript function, JavaScript object values. It's not values, it's not entries, it's one that does both, right? There's one that returns, so we have object.values, object.keys. And then there's object.entries. I believe that's the one we want, right? Because that one is more easy to sort. All right. And then we'll just do a char map like that. Yeah. And then we'll sort these. So dip, dip, dip. Char list. And then char list dot sort. And sort, I think, modifies the item, right? So we'll do A, B, and then we'll just have const sort char entries A, B. And then it's just the second element, right? So A1 minus B1. And that should do that. And then... and we're going to call them char entries, actually. Oh. So there's no confusion. And now they're sorted. Okay, so the least frequent are at the top and the most frequent are at the bottom. And we'll just do this with a couple of puzzles for now. So we have this, we have the char map here. Let's move that down here. So all the char map stuff has happened. No, we want that here. Puzzle file name goes with that. And then what we're gonna do is put that on top. So we're gonna do puzzle files dot slice 010, just so to keep it sane, dot for each. And what do we call it? Name. Then we get this. And this. Right. And we want this to be async. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this a variable so I can modify it. And then we're gonna do this. And then we're just gonna loop through that. Right? And then we'll say let puzzle equals yada yada yada. Puzzle files I. And screw this. I'll just do that. So that should add 10 puzzles now. We get a slightly bigger list. We still have some capital letters that are just ones. And we don't really have any funky Unicode characters yet. So let's add 100. All right, we don't have a much bigger list, but oh, look at that. We're starting to get the first Unicode characters like the present, question, the heart, and so on and so forth. Let's do 1,000. Takes a little longer, but not a huge amount. Now we get Japanese characters, Greek characters, etc., etc. All right, so what we can do now is we can do a exclude filter. Right? And then we'll probably want to filter them first. So we'll probably want to do char entries equals char entries dot filter char, and then exclude chars dot include char not. And it's an array here. That's fine. Include, exclude, include, includes. There we go. And now we can filter this with, I'm just going to put them in as a string. So we want A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. So, and I'm going to do this a little bit funky. So we're going to do this plus this dot to uppercase. Case. We'll have the digits here as well. And we'll have basic punctuation. So full stop, comma, quote, double quote. And I think I'm going to use backticks here. I don't think backticks will show up in the files, but probably want to include those as well. So we can have a single quote here. And I think I'm going to invert these just for neatness sake. Like that. And I'm going to remove the backticks again because they don't need them here and I feel weird. Okay. And then at the very end, we're going to split the whole thing because it's expecting an array. And that's just how I wrote it, and it doesn't matter. All right. So we see we need the brackets. So square brackets, these brackets, round brackets. We need exclamation marks since we're doing punctuation here. So exclamation, I think question mark probably as well. Dash, backslash. Yeah, double backslash here for escaping. Pipe symbol, a question mark we have, semicolon we need. Let's put that here. Let's move these over here. Underscore. I think the equal sign can go here. Forward slash. Asterisk. Probably plus as well. So plus minus. Asterisk, and we these kind of braces as well. Space, boom, goes there. Yeah, we can put the hash here. Zip tip tip. I'm just looking down here on this list, see if there's anything else that's obvious. Percentage sign. Now the curly quotes, I'm almost tempted to modify them on the server side and just filter them out because they're just a pain in the ass and they're really not worth keeping around. Percentage sign. Well, let's run it again, see what we get. I got cookies because I was hungry and now I'm not eating them. Oh. Excuse me. We have a special... Oh, what the hell is this? What the hell is that? What fresh hell is this? You know what I'm gonna do is... I'm gonna do this. Char count. Char count. And then char dot char at 0. Char code at 0. Just so we can see. And we also do... Or maybe we'll do both. Just so we can see if there's like a weird space character or anything like that. Because this is a weird thing that is a brace and... So Unicode look up. Let's see. Can I look them up by number? Full width left parentheses. What kind of masochist? Nah. I gotta meme that. That's just... I'm gonna meme that. Sorry about that. Full width left parentheses. Holy moly. But this is coming down to a manageable list of special symbols. Now, these are ASCII, so most of these don't really matter. Now, we have the gift here. What I'm not seeing here is the candle, unless the candle maps to one of these other ones. Well, let's bring in the rest of the puzzles. So if we don't slice, if we just run through all of them. How many puzzles are we working through? 4,095. All right. And I have about another 8,000 from Logimust Germany. So what else do we get? We get quite a few more. All right. Still a couple really rare ones. And that's the thing, like including these, well, I don't know. There's only one puzzle with them in it. And then there's some that I don't even have the character set for. Okay. We might have to convert this to some kind of HTML page. Oh, I'm getting... confused of how my legs should go. I need my chair back. My chair has been broken for too long. All right, so we have a check mark. Okay, what I'm not seeing here are the candles. They might be some of these question mark ones. Excuse me. Let's convert this into some kind of HTML sort of table. So what we're gonna do is what if we do filter char map, or let's call it process char map, and then we're just going to return this, right? And then we'll just call this, and then we'll just process this, and then we'll output it here. So that should be the same thing. And then we can just turn it into some sort of HTML. Obviously, we don't want to do it like this because it's kind of slowish. Oh, there's some chess pieces. But you see, there's already two different kinds of chess pieces, right? So I'm guessing these are both supposed to be queens, for example. Yeah, in fact, I think some of these are ASCII representation or alternate characters for similar things on Unicode. Yeah, here's another set of chess pieces. So that's the sort of thing that I'm worried about, is that like there's 4 different Unicodes that mean very similar things, and I'm not sure if I should include all of them or normalize to one. Or if there's a reason, like, hey, if they're light and dark chess pieces, maybe they need both, right? Black and white, etc. And, you know, I don't know what kind of tricks the setters get up to be fair. That said, let's go back down to limiting how many puzzles we're going to process. And now we're going to turn this into some HTML. So that's just our plain output. And the universal sort of Unicode representation is taking this and just sticking it into some stuff like that. So for example, if we're doing something like this, and then the JSONification here didn't really make much of a difference. So if I do this, and we'll put in that, but via like this. 1 second. Do this. That number comes from charcode at 0, like that. And we'll probably put this into a span. Class equals. Or do we want to put this in a table? Let's just put it in a span, and then we can use fancy CSS if we want to later. Then here we'll just have the plain character. Man, this feels like a table. I haven't done an HTML table in a long while, and if I put it in a table, I feel like it would be easy to manage. Anyway, and then we'll probably want the other 2 as well here. So we're just gonna take this, stick that there, stick that there. You know what? Screw it. This is a table. I remember tables. I've done tables before. We've just been beaten over the head for so long to not use HTML tables that it feels like wrong now to do so. Right? And this is obviously like that. Right. Then here we join it with line breaks. And then we'll output something along these lines. Yada, 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 like that. And that should output a nice little table. Once I remove all the errors. After argument list. Dot join. Oh, map. There we go. Map. Join. Like this. After argument list. Char entries. We're mapping them and then we're joining them. Don't see what the problem is. Any other matching errors? Char count. Join. Did I not? Maybe I didn't save it. Nope. Missing after argument list. Oh, the console log. All right, here we go. Okie dokie. And then this we want to output into a file. So fsp.write file. What are we going to call this? Char list.html. We probably just want to do HTML body. Something like that. Okay. Does that give us a file? Probably inside Unicode. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. All right. All right, can do. We can do something with this. So the hope is that one of these will work always, where the other one might not always work. But if the browser supports it, they should all work, right? So let's run it for all 4,000, and let's time it actually, because I'm kind of curious. It didn't take too long, right? Ooh, more cookies. The word count. Wow. So useful. But, what else do we want to show for these things? I mean, the hex, not really super useful, right? So it's from rarest to most common down here. And maybe with this list, we don't even have to have the exclusion. So let exclude chars equals. Like that. But here, we're just going to do this. So without exclusion characters and all puzzles, how long is it going to take? 2.6 seconds, I guess. 2.8 seconds. Oh. All right, refresh it. And now, yeah, so we have... Oh, sorry, one sec. My audio just disappeared because my scroll wheel went over there while it was still spinning over the taskbar. All right, so we can see, you know, the basic characters down here that we don't care about, and then the fancy ones up here that we do care about. And there is a couple of ones that my browser here does not support, right? So let's have a look at, and I just closed all these tabs and I'm gonna need them again. Let's have a look. And that's actually what this stream, what this stream is gonna be about, is to kind of see, first of all, you know, how do we represent these? So for example, my browser does not support these. And neither does these, right? Unicode character. But some font supports these, of course, right? So, Unicode character. I don't know if I can just Google them by the specific thing, right? It's DE81. DE81. All right, so somebody knows about this thing. Unicode character map, low surrogates. But what we need is... we need helicopter. We need something that actually has an image of them, right? Airplane, helicopter. All right, let's convert this to hex, right? So if I do this to string 16. So DE81 0xD81 Hangout component get CD. So it could be like an Indian letter, for example. The problem is, if I don't have a font that supports this, then how would I ever see this? Hangout. Okay. Font with full Unicode support. So I need to find a font that literally has all of the fonts, right? All right. So we might not even be able to fully support them all. Adobe Sans Pro and Google's Noto. Okay, so Google's Noto. All right. So if I change something here, so let's go here and we'll go font family Noto. Boom. Font family Noto. How do I include Noto? Fonts. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, because I don't need 120,000 characters, right? I just need these. And generally, you can customize a font to include those set of characters. So if I want to use Noto Sans, for example, right? And if I want to see how to include that, I mean, yeah, downloading the font is great, but I actually don't really want to download the font right now. I just want to link to it. CSS link remote font. Boom. CSS link remote font Noto. Can I just do that? I mean, these aren't even that big, right? Half a meg. I mean, too much to download, but well, okay. There's no reason I can't just stick them in here for now. So if I put something in here like fonts, and then I copy all of these. Actually, if I just put all of this in here, right? And then look at this OFL file. That's an open font license. All right. If I look at something like this, source, local, tech, font face, family, font face for Noto. Okay. So if I take something like this and stick that into that HTML file that we've created here, right? So if I go here and I'll say head something like that. And then here we'll go style. And then we'll stick something like this in here. All right. Then we'll call this Noto. Noto. And here it says URL, but I saw local a second ago. So there is a local way of loading a font. Local. What does local stand for? Local. Local link. Looking at stuff fun of user's own computer. Can I just do this like /fonts, and then here we'll have Noto Sans. Where's the regular? Noto Sans regular TTF, right? So we'll just do this. We might have to run this through an actual server. Do we have WAFs? No, these are all TTFs. All right, doesn't matter. Wait. Okay. I think it'll have to be like this. And then we'll do something like body font family Noto. If I do this and refresh this. Now this should be a Noto file. Sorry, a Noto font face. Yeah. So this character is not in this font. So that's a bummer. So it does contain a whole bunch of stuff, but it doesn't contain this one. Type tester. Okay, so if I put this character in here, I need a font that has this character. Okay. All continents, no. 3 styles. Yeah. Specimen, Noto sans, preview text, all continents. So, global font connection in unmuted sans serif design text Latin Cyrillic Greek. Yep. With a Unicode range set for font face, browser will only load the font if the character in that range is actually used. I think this also shows mixing fonts by character. With a Unicode range. Well, the thing is, I want to build a custom font, right? So in the end, it doesn't matter. I just need to find a font, like I just need to find the glyph. Once I have a glyph, I can combine them into a font that supports the glyphs that are in the puzzles, right? Now, ultimately, I should probably reject all the characters that are only used in one puzzle, right? But if I can automate the process and then I just update it once a month, and if there's a new puzzle that uses a new character, you know, it'll add one character occasionally. But it's not a lot of characters, right? Especially since I don't have to include the basic ones. Now the question is, how do I find a font that has that character in it? Because according to this, they have one with that character in it, but I don't know which one, right? So I have to go to each one, put this character in, like this one doesn't have it, right? Now, it did say, where are we looking before? Not helicopter. So this is Tangut, right? So we probably want to look for Tang, I want to say. I don't know where Tangut is being spoken. Probably somewhere in India, right? Tangut people, tribal union found inhabited Western Shias, and no, it's China, I guess. So it's probably a Chinese character. And again, I'm saying things before checking it first. Western Shia. Western Shia, Great Shia. So it's somewhere in China. Okay. So for example, if I now look, filter by China, I guess. I saw it a second ago. Here we go. Noto sans traditional series. So if I go type tester, can I put this character in here? No. So traditional Chinese doesn't have it, right? On Wikipedia is a table. The Unicode ranges are supported by some common fonts. Is that the Wikipedia page for Unicode? The thing is, Noto should have support for all of them. That's kind of the whole point. Adoption, operating system, input, fonts. Nope, not web. Fonts. Fonts. Unicode is not in principle concerned with font per se, seeing them implement choices, blah, 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 web open font format, yada, 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 yada. Thousands of fonts exist in the market, but fewer than a dozen fonts sometimes described as pan-Unicode fonts. Typically focus on supporting basic ASCII. Font substitution division returns most typefaces. Unicode font page with that table. Okay. Font. Unicode font page. Unicode. Here we go. Main article. Unicode fonts. So the range we're looking for in this example, this is not the only one. This is just an example. Oh. Not useful. I think it was this one. And now I regret not adding the hex to the thing. Oh, it's 661, this character. And then it's a DE, yada, yada, yada. All right, so 0x, yada, yada, yada. So DE 81 F. So it fits in this range, right? And a FB 4D DE D7 FF. So it doesn't fall into any of these ranges, unfortunately. So this list is either incomplete or this is not a, or yeah, well, it's obviously incomplete, right? Code 2000. Because DE does not fit into this range, right? It's after D7 and it's before E0. Western Shia. So the question is, how do I narrow this down further? No two sons, 233. Western Shia. If I go back to Tangut people, because maybe the language is not Tangut, spoke the Tangut language. Yeah, in fact, even the Wikipedia article doesn't have the characters. Tangut. So what if we say Tangut font? Note to serif Tangut. Tangut. Oh, you know what? I can just type it into the search. All right. So if I put the typeset in here and wait. If I put this in here, it still does not support the character. That's a problem. That is a problem. So let's see what information we have. So this character, which is not this one. DE81. Here we go. Oh, it's a dual. Shoot. It's a UTF-16 encoding. Maybe that's the problem. No. I think this is not what I think it is. I think it's a UTF-16 character, and I think I'm not handling that correctly. I'm reading them as UTF-8 somewhere. I'm reading them as UTF-8. Shoot. Node. Handle UTF-16 characters. I don't know if I can actually do this properly. Sorry, this is probably super small. Here's a circuit pairs, UCS characters that make up a single code point and not everywhere. Pairs don't really work. It's expression, for example. Things are slowing down. All right. The question is there a way of finding the file? Search it. So if I take this, right, add chars to map, and I'll say if char.char code at 0 equals console.log so let's do it this way. Because these are puzzle IDs, right? So then let puzzle ID I right? Now we'll do this, and then we'll just pass it in there. And then we'll just do this. Boom, puzzle ID. And we'll need to run it through. Before I do that, let's make sure our changes are recorded. So we have HTML and that in there. Well, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Can even do that. And we said we wanted to have the hex version of these as well. This is the count. And we probably want the hex version. I don't know if splitting will create characters with multiple elements. You see what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if char code at 0 is wrong in all cases here. You know, can there be a single character with 2 elements, right? For UTF-8, UTF-16 and so on. I'm not sure. So to string 16, and we'll just prefix it with 0x. And then we'll do the final version. We'll just output at the very end here char.length, which should always be 1, but you never know. Okay, let's make sure it'll still run through all of them. And let's time it as well. The problem is, like, all the browsers I have access to basically are more or less the same. Like Safari, I'd have to go to the Mac. But it's not the browser, it's the fonts, right? And I want to fix that problem. So I know the problem, there is a problem. Oh, did I put a 0x on the length as well? All right. So let me just double check. Yeah, these are all length 1. Okay, so these don't help. Let's see if don't actually need this here. So we found the file. Let's just open that quickly. Public staging. Nope. API puzzles. Search for this one. Can I search? Yes, please. So this is the puzzle. Let's see which puzzle it is. Okay, so I'm starting to think this is not bullshit, Tangoot, whatever. I'm starting to think this is a misinterpretation of these characters, right? So if I take this, and then just say do char code at 0, I get that. And if I do char code at 1, I get that. And if I do length, it's 2. All right, so it's a double character thing. The question is, if I do something like this, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, like as far as I can tell, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. But if I ask for the length, it gives me 8. God damn it. And if I split it, I get 8. And if I split it like this, I'll get 2 rubbish characters. God damn it. So flag R. Source code starts literal U followed by 4 characters multilingual plane. Note split UTF-8 string into characters. I don't actually know how I would even know this. To handle this case properly, you'll need to purpose-build library. The above solution work well for simple emojis, but not for the ones from the extended set and the ones that use surrogate pairs. You could loop through contains Unicode characters. One sec. We can do this actually. Puzzle IDs equal. So we can, rerun this test very quickly. And let's make that into a function. Sort char entries. Const char entries to HTML. Char entries. So that's really just this thing. Like that. I think that's all we need, and then we can replace all of this by like that. Clean up this code down here. And we can just log that. And now we can, as we go through the characters, we're splitting them here. We can just do like if I do this, right? It's gonna run through these characters. And somewhere along the line, some of these characters are gonna be counted as 2. Which apparently is handled more appropriately for the wait. So charmap string. So here I'm going through them. So okay, this is not super useful. Let's do a couple of things here. So if I do string dot length, right, and then this. For var of string, let char count equals 0. And we'll just increment char count. And now, is that the same number as string.length? Because I'm not even splitting it into an array here. I'm just looping through it, right? It is fewer. Ooh. Ooh. Huh. How do I learn something useful about these characters? Maybe this? We've got a lot of ones. I saw the numbers jiggle. 2. So sometimes these are okay. So if is greater than 1, C recent.string I C the char code at 0 at 1. So these are multi-code code points. That might be enough. maybe this will work. So if instead of these two lines here, I'll do for char off. And for off is not a loop I've done very often. For off. I don't think I've ever had to use it before in my life. So the loop operates on a sequence of values sourced from an iterable object. So it's not for in. For off loop. Iterator. For off. For off UTF-16. Auto encode should, yeah. But let's see if we do this, right? Do we now... So the length is this, but the character count is only this. Oh, my nose is itchy. Now the number here... The number here is just that. So if I do this, right? Char.map is not a function. Excuse me. Now, if I do this, though, that should be a function. Char.length. So length is 2. And if I turn it to an array, it still returns only one character. That's so odd. And if I do char.split, that probably still doesn't work, right? No, that does work. Not sure how useful that is. But at least we'll get this sequence. So we'll know there's 2 characters involved. All right. Hey, Mark. Yeah, I mean, the good thing here is that I only have to do it once. Because ultimately, all I want to do is turn this into a Unicode font that supports these characters. And then have it just fall back to whatever font I currently use. So basically, just any missing character will be supported. Will no longer be missing. That's literally the only thing I'm hoping to accomplish here. So let's put this back into our HTML file. So this actually works, which is awesome. I thought it was a lot harder than this. I was getting ready to give up, basically. All right. What we're gonna do? First of all, we're gonna move the character to the front. Then, as far as I could tell, they are expressed. How does that come about? So the HTML and oh shit. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Because this is based on the UTF-8 encoding, while this is what am I getting here? This looks like the UTF-16 encoding. Convert UTF-16 to HTML encoding. Converts from Unicode to HTML entities. Oh, this is annoying because I'm trying to select it, but it won't select until I've selected the second character, which is horrible. It's a horrible feeling. So that doesn't work. Huh. Because these aren't Unicode, right? Dip, 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 dip. Wait, I have the file. I have the raw data, right? So I can just go here, go grab this, right? And then just see what it does to it. And then this, if I convert this to a 16, 1F525. The problem is, where does this number come from, right? Where does this number come from? Because I'm not seeing it anywhere here, right? So it does something to these sequences to convert them into a different set of sequences, right? Because this is 1F25. And where were we? 1F25. Actually, let's directly look for this little flame icon. If I look for this. One. Ugh. UD8 3D. D8 3D, DD25. Okay, so it's this one, right? But how do we get from this to this? Because that seems to be what it's using. JavaScript. Convert UTF-16 to UTF-32. Unicode converter. Makes sense because we can convert all these into 64. Now, if I put R without quotes and convert them, I get values like UTF-8. Okay, doesn't make sense to me because not all of these convert back to 1071. Take to convert back to. All right. I just need a function that does it. UTF-32. Character encoding detector. UTF-info. Getting conversion of a character. Constants Unicode max. Maximum Unicode code point. Unicode max BMP. Encoding Japanese. 4-bit wild characters. Non-set interest for working with strings. Code batch byte data mini buffer 8. Is this a minimalist dependency free implementation? Mutable 4-bit with characters for easy manipulation character and glyph. Inside 4-bit character with data type. We get much larger. All right. All your code can be expressed with fixed length. This package mitigates the problem a bit, though it doesn't completely solve it. Note that I do not claim to have solved this issue. Accepts any group of 1 to 4 byte as a single UTF-32 character, whether or not they have rendered as a single grapheme. You want to split text into graphemes, regardless of the number of bytes required to render each grapheme. That's, I think, what I want. Grapheme splitter. Hey. Library. It can use properly split JavaScript strings into what a human user would call separate letters, for example, grapheme clusters or Unicode general. What internal? Yeah, okay. No, that's like yeah. Okay, so that's not exactly what I want. But this might be enough. This might be enough. So if I use this, right? This probably won't work. Oop. Maybe it does work. If char dot length greater than 1, can I do this? I should be able to do this, right? Value. Okay. And then 2 UTF-8 check character. Easily convert between characters and integers. Index. Index to number. What is index? So can I just then do to number? Problem is that doesn't give me the UTF-32 representation, does it? It just gives me another large number that doesn't correspond to anything related to this character. That is not UTF-32 encoding. UTF-32 from number. UTF-32 edge cases. Too low, too high. UTF from string. So if I do from string like this, and then this, does that work? UTF char not UTF-32 char not defined. UTF lib dot. Can I just do this? Maybe. I don't know if that will work. Oh, okay. That doesn't seem correct though. From string, from number. From string, from number. There's something I'm not understanding correctly here. Should this be a from number type deal? No. What if we just go hardcore? Just stick that in there and see what it does with it. So the from number is not the right thing. Interesting. It looks the same here, and it has the same value. So according to this is the UTF-32 representation, except it's not useful. It is not what I'm expecting, right? So either this is not implementing UTF-32 properly. Convert UTF-16 UTF-32. How do I improve performance? Conversion of UTF-32 invalid circuit pair. We give invalid input. The thing is, nowhere does it actually mention how to actually do it. Ugh. The wonderful world of Unicode. Even just extracting the information is actually not... That I didn't think I would have a problem with. Is there no native UTF-32 support? All right. Node UTF-32. Can I run toString UTF-32 maybe? Maybe. Huh. What if I do toString UTF-8, toString UTF-16? If I do something like that. And if I do then toString, no. I get the length of any of these. Are they all the same? They're all 2. Ah, wait a second. 32. That's what we're looking for. Function get astral code point. High surrogate, low surrogate. Return high surrogate minus... That's the function? Get astrals... What is get astral code point? This sounds pretty fancy. Is that a native function? Ah. So you're saying I should have something like this in here. So something like this. And I should, my god, this is a bit of a pain. But basically, if I do this, get code point at 0, and then do it again for at 1. This consistency need to be. So now I get this number, which doesn't really help either, unless I'm mixing low and high here. Ah, now we have a number that's closer to what we're looking for. We're looking for 128 something something. We got 148. This is a 6-digit number. We're at a 7-digit number, so we're still off a little bit. We're definitely nowhere near this number, right? What if I do this? I mean, I'm programming by guessing, which is never satisfying. 16 AD. So that doesn't correspond to any of these. So this get astral code point conversion isn't really the thing. Parse string, substring 2, 16. Multilingual plane, high surrogate, low surrogate. Code points are guaranteed never to be used for encoding characters. Code points they wish. There's these non-current. Excuse me. Get surrogate pair. High surrogate. Do I need to do that first? Because if I look at this, 1F600, that's closer to this, and then returns these two, which looks like this is UTF-32 to UTF-16 conversion. Sure. What if I do this? You know what? Why don't we just do something like... What if we just do this? And we'll just do char, 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 and char. So I'm guessing this is not the same as whatever goal point at 0 and 1 is returning here. And if I look at these just as an array, 0, 1, so that's these two numbers. And if I do this, right? So if I compare these, 1F525, I'm getting this, and then I'm getting a... All right, that's strange, because I'm getting the DD25 from this one, but I'm getting this one on the first chart. What the frick? In fact, that's this number. What the hell is going on here? Now that's unexpected. Wait a second. So this is the character here. Then we have chart point 0 and 1. Then here we're converting them. So it's almost as if 1 is the second character of the two character UTF-6. Oh my god, my brain is hurting. What the heck is going on here? This one we don't... I don't know why that's up here. Get circuit pair. So that's... We're passing in a number. How do you turn that into a number, though? A singular number. Ah. Is it one of these? Ah. So... const 2x. So if we do this like that, right? Whoop. And this and this. And I don't know about those yet. A.map. A.map is not a function. A.map is not a function. A.map is not a function. Oh, all right. Oh, I'm an idiot. All right. So, which ones of these look like what? These two look like these two, right? So that's the second one. And let's split these up so I don't go crazy here. My brain is already overloaded. Been too long since my last meds. Go point at 0, 1. And then we'll have get 0 point yada yada of 0 and get circuit yada yada of 1, right? And then we're just gonna look at these as well. What the heck are these doing here? Whoa, no. All right. Okay. Let's compare these to what we have here. So get code point -1. Okay, that's just a typo. So ironically, this gives us this on the first, and then this on the second, which I don't get. And then this is the actual UTF-8 16 encoding, which is taking code point at 0 and then running it through this algorithm, which gets us back to this, but it also gets us this weird thing. And then the last one, which is applying UTF-8. So I'm starting to think that the char point at 0 is the UTF-8 16 encoding, and the char point at 1 is the UTF-8 8 encoding, which is so bizarre. So the second is the second byte of UTF-16. No, but these are 2 bytes. That's 2 bytes and that's 2 bytes, right? So this char thing has 2. So, you know, if we do char.length. So char is a string, right? If we do char.length, we'll get 2, right? Now if we do let whatever c of char, because here char is a string, right? Now here, we should get 1 with length 2, even though char is length 2. Yeah, you see, this is the bizarre thing, right? So char is length 2, is a string of length 2, but if I do this, it only loops through one element, right? And if I look at code point at 0, I get the UTF-8 632 encoding. Okay, but ultimately it means I can just look at this to get my UTF-8, UTF-16 encoding, which is what I can use to generate my HTML entity, right? Right? So if I go to the HTML thing here, formatting, it is actually, this should be correct. What? How? Wait a second. How? Going crazy. Because here, these look like char code at 0. But I'm not getting, here I'm getting the second one, the DD25 version. Even though I'm getting char code at 0, oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't refresh the freaking page. So this works. No, wait. Wait. No. Char works. Char code at 0 doesn't work. Can I? Oh. Wait. I'm an idiot. So if I do this, right? And I just, you know what? I'm gonna do this for now, because I'm tired of scrolling until I have a better idea about what's going on here. So this should give us the UTF-32, which we can convert to an HTML entity. Right. This shows this, though, instead of what I expect, which is the other one, which is that one. Ah, no, wait, it is that one. Oh, wait, what? Then where the hell is this one coming from? Because this one comes out of the get circuit pair one. But here I'm getting it anyways. Oh my god, my brain. This does not look correct. All right, let's forget this for a sec. And put both of them in here. Char code at 1 and 0, right? If I run through this and then refresh here. Okay, so this is not the right syntax. Hash. I think I need a 0 there. Sorry, an X. Hash X. And then I get an NAN at the end. 0x NAN. Not a number. Char code at 1. Are the chars here? Did I lose the second character here somewhere? Somewhere along the lines. Because here I'm dealing with them as with a string syntax, so I don't actually care. What if I put char.length after the count here as well? So count char, yeah, so here character, so char code, okay. So we have these two here, which corresponds to these two. But I'm no longer getting this one. Ow. And of course all the ones that only have one. But up here, char.codePointAt. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Oh my god, I'm using codePointAt here and charCodeAt down here. Oh my god. Oh my god. So... well, that explains a whole bunch. This actually code point at 0 to string code point at 0 code point at 1. Canary properties of undefined. So X char and I'm guessing we're just gonna do something weird like for let's see of char no for so it's char.map c dot code point at 0 dot to string 16 and then we'll just do the whole 0x right, and we'll do that. Right, and then we can do char code to hex. That'll be char code at. Okay, and then we'll do code point to hex here, like that, and then we'll do char code to hex here, and I think that should do the trick. char.map. I don't remember. Did this work before, or did I have to actually split it? Char coin. No, it refuses. It freaking refuses. All right. If I split them, will that do the right thing? At this point, I'm just like hoping and guessing. Yeah, I didn't realize I had just out of the top of my head just written the wrong function. And that they're literally the two functions that I do need. Char point, code point at, and then char code at. So these should be two different ones, and I'm getting the same ones. Probably because I'm splitting them, right? All right. Here, and let hex, and then we'll just do res dot push 0x char dot code point at I turn res, boom, code point to hex, right? And then we'll have char code to hex and char code at I. Will you finally do the right thing? Yes, finally. And then down here, we'll just do dot join like that. Cool. Right? So now we get these two characters where the second one is nowhere over here. So I'm guessing, I don't even know. You see, it says the UTF-32 encoding is only the first part of this, basically. Except I'm not even seeing this here either. I mean, these are 3-digit... Oh, I didn't actually convert them to hex. I'll just do that. Like that. And now, okay. All right. So now we have something like these two, which is this one, and the DD25 is this one for some reason, right? And then, so I don't know why code point and char code, whatever, operate like this. But I can now know for sure that the first one, code point at, is the one I want to use. Code point at for HTML encoding, and there it is. Hallelujah. And the missing ASCII. I don't know why the charcode thingamajig returns two characters. You see, NSFL wrote, UTF-32 is the 1F525. But why does it come back with length 2? And returns the second character of the UTF-16 encoding as well. So I don't fully understand how char point at and code point at work and what they mean. But it's hella confusing, and I feel like I'm not confident to use them this way. But for now, they do work. They do that, do the thing. Where did that come from? All right, let's get rid of this mess up here for now. And then we can rerun it on all of them. And I guess we can leave the other characters in here, no big deal. We'll just have to change this. And now we're gonna have 4,000 characters, 4,000 puzzles. with, you know, many more than that in characters. So let's have another look. Yeah, so obviously this is a mosquito or something, right? So somebody just pulled a random font and found a mosquito they liked, because they're only used once, right? But, you know, a flame, nice to have. The problem is, will other people use the same flame icon, right? I'm more interested in things like the light bulbs and so on, right? Which I'm not seeing here, because it's not in the CDC database, right? So now let's see if we can do a similar thing for the Logic Masters Germany puzzle, right? Puzzles. Okay. I think up to here we don't actually care. So we can do this. We can actually do this. But for now we're going to just do return. And the Logic Masters Germany puzzles are in a file very nearby, I'm sure. I think it's about 10 megabytes. LMG fetch. LMG should be LMD. And it's this one. Right? So, puzzle. All right. But they are encoded. Okay. All right. All right. And then LMD path. Puzzle path. LMD puzzle name. So that is we go down one, then we go up into LMG fetch, and then we'll go into puzzle list.json. And now I'm thinking, we'll do something else here. Puzzles. Not read here. Read file. UTF-8. And then JSON.parse. Like that. Okay, but now we need to decode them. And that is done via these decoding functions, which I think we've already loaded in here. Yep. So I think we can just do this on the puzzle component here. If I take that, stick it in here. Does that? All right. The only problem with that is, I think that's a full decode into JSON, which is actually not what we want. So let's see if we can get that to calm down just a little bit. So decode fpuzzle data. So we really just want to do this. So we just want to decompress. We don't actually want to decode. So we probably gonna put that here. Because we need it as a string, right? So there's no point de-stringificating it. Okay. So, how are we gonna do this? So what we can do is, so instead of this, I turn this into a function. No, const at CTC puzzles. And what do we need here? Just char map, right? Char map. And then we'll have this in here. And we'll have these in here on hold. And then we'll have this in here. Right? And then over here, we'll just have this. Instead of that. And we're going to remove that. And remove that. And remove these two. And then we'll do add. Well, let's do this for now. We can do puzzles equals puzzles dot filter p dot puzzle not undefined. All right. And then we'll just go through these. And then we'll just really just do this with the decompressed data. We have no puzzle ID. And that's our puzzle data here. And you can probably just do puzzles dot slice 0 3 or whatever, right? Await. Desync. Verschluss. And we have a first spammer. So the question is, do I have to block them in each platform separately? No. I don't want to reply. I want to send a message. I want to block these bastards. So I got to block them. Ban them on Twitch. All right, that's done. And then here on YouTube, I think on YouTube they got auto banned from what I did on the restream. All right. Did I run this code? I don't know. So 3 puzzles, F puzzles. The first one, add string to char map. Okay, and now, well, if we do this and then refresh this, we got something here, right? And if we do this with, if we do this with 100 puzzles, and now we've got a different list here. All right, if we do it with 1,000 puzzles, it'll take a couple of seconds. Not even. Okay. Okay. All right. Add LMD, Logic Masters Germany puzzles. And then all we're doing is put these in here. Like that. And then we'll just do this. Now, if we're removing our limiters here, like this, it should just run through all the puzzles. 4,000 of the one and about 8,000 of the other one. 8,344 and grand total of 7 seconds later. And that should be a complete list of all the characters used. And not even used in the puzzles. These are just all the JSON and so on. No, but they're encoded in a different way. So they're not compressed. It turns out all the information is already available. I was using 2 different functions, code point at and char code at, and one seems to be returning UTF-16, the other one UTF-32, which I didn't know, and I don't think is entirely accurate. There's probably some other stuff happening, but for now, I think it's generating usable characters, right? So now we see there's a lot of characters that have only ever been used in a singular puzzle. But it's less about including characters used. It's more about including a list of characters that are likely to be used. And of course, only characters on this list are likely to be used because they're the only ones that have been used, right? Now, there could be some characters which people would like to use and never do because, you know, they can't get a good whatever out of them. And then some of these characters will just be available in regular fonts, you know, like accented A and square root symbol and so on and so forth. But for example, this little wave. So I'll probably try to exclude any kind of basic, you know, I can probably look up, hey, if they're below a certain. But then things like these, right? Or the fish or the little diagonal arrows, you know, these make sense to have them included. And now these are actually here showing with the Noto font, right? So the idea is that instead of including, how big is it? So I'm currently loading in 540 kilobytes of font. But we don't need all of these characters, obviously. So the idea is that we're just going to include a subset of these characters. So we have things like the candle, right? Or the car that swerves off the road or whatever. And I think it's probably safe to assume that any character that's in here, like more than a couple of thousand, doesn't need to be included, right? Because it's likely to already be in a regular font. And the umlaut's the same thing, right? Although we might as well include them. I don't know. And we might just include all of these characters, potentially, right? Just to have a consistent font face for the whole thing. The only thing is I don't know, you know, this might not look as good as whatever font I'm currently using. I didn't choose the one I have for any particular reason. Let's see, if we do query selector all tr. So you see, this is only 391, right? It's not that many characters. So we could very easily have a font with 390 characters that isn't massively huge. Now the question is, can I get a... So if I go Google Fonts, right? Because I know Google Fonts has a way of selecting which characters you want to actually include. So if I say Noto, regular, nope, Noto Sans, this one. All right, and now if I say selected family, what if I want to glyphs, here we go. Right. Can I filter the glyphs that I want? I don't know. Only a subset of this shown here. Download the font for the full set. Filter font glyphs. Remove glyphs from font. Because I'm pretty sure there used to be a Google font thing where you typed in which characters you wanted somewhere. Oh, no. I'd say family. Learn more. Got it. All right. Remove all. Specimen. Selected. Sure. The regular 400. Styles. Okay, so we probably want this one. Regular 400. But it doesn't seem that we can choose which glyphs we need here. And managing customers. Okay, so this is some sort of custom tool I need to download. I mean, I could probably convert to SVG and then just write some code to filter them out. Well, to be honest, if I can include them all, it doesn't matter, right? If I include them all, they're all included. Remember, we're not talking about word processing here. We're talking about supporting obscure Unicode characters that people use for the symbolic value, right? I have no interest in supporting kanji, for example, as a whole. But if there's some kanji that has been used in a you know, I'm tempted to not include them, right? Because it's likely that these are either purely decorative or purely for a puzzle aimed at the language market, you know. And this is not about language support, right? This is more about, hey, you know, I found a nice check mark and I put the check mark in, and then on Safari the check mark doesn't show, right? Because Safari doesn't include as many Unicode characters as other setups, right? But to be honest, I think I'm gonna have my lunch break soon. Font to web. Font Squirrel user. I think I have Font Squirrel. Font Forge. I have Font Forge. Oh. This is a very old tool. I might be barking up the wrong tree here. Okay. So this has many glyphs. How do I tell it which glyphs I want? Edit. File. Port merge, hints, encoding. Compact. Oh, no. Matrix. Window view. Show. I don't actually know if this does what I want it to do. Can I generate fonts? Generate fonts. Option, pinch binary, no fonts. For save and print font log entry. Filter. Options. Like I'm sure there's tools that let me tell it which glyphs to exclude and so on. Font to web. Choose a file. Upload your font here. Convert 100. Okay. Well, this is very standard. I think it's publicly available, right? Convert and download. I have checked font license always embedded in font on your website. Okay. But nope. I wanted to let me tell you which glyphs to include. My God, these websites look weird and silly. Okay, never mind. Probably also a bit old. Inspired me and don't want to use the shit. Actually, I want to use the script since I usually add something to it. All right. I mean, ultimately, right? The characters come from the first whatever. So actually we'll do this. Dot map. tr dot get element. Query select or span. All right. Oh no, TD dot text content, and then dot join. Boom. And then we'll do JSON.stringify. Just to be extra safe. And that should give us a JSON string of all the characters that we found. And I don't think that is included, yeah. We do have some odd characters here in the display here, but that's fine. So ideally we paste this list somewhere. Adding, removing glyphs, remove glyph from font. Custom TTF font with subset of glyphs. Custom TTF, no to TTF with subset of list. Glyph or character. Do they have... can I do it through the font API? Text. Turns out that loading the same font a second time doesn't actually overwrite the first one. The browser seems to be smart and merge them all right. The first one does all the usual character Google fonts give you by default, and then load a font a second time. So does this already, passing through the API, basically, do what I'm looking for? In other words, is this the way to do it? So if I open this, let's be on the network tab while we do this. But this generates the piece of thingamajig, right? Okay. So no to serif. So if I look at something like this now, this URL looks, now it's a WAF2. I don't know if that's better than TTF here. Okay, if I load this now instead, what do I get? I get a font here that's only 25 bytes. So that definitely looks like it would be filtered. Format WAF2. So if I change this to no to serif. So if I change this to no to sans and get rid of ital, right? Okay. There is, so I was right. So there's yeah, let's just go here and see if we can find the place. No. Fonts, Google APIs. Fonts, Google APIs. No. Fonts.google. Selected family. Here we go. So that generates the import file. If I now go in here, load that up here, it'll get me that other file, right? And then that links to the Unicode ranges. Yes. That's basically what I'm trying to look for. Now, why are these multiple ones? Unicode range. Because this is a bit of a problem. All right, I gotta go to the bathroom. My brain doesn't work. But I'm guessing that I can use this to filter out which characters I want to include. Now, here it has this. Wait a second. Swap. Display swap. Display block. I don't know what these mean. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So if instead of swap, we'll say block. So then we have no to sans. We haven't limited here. Which means that's the reason why it's got all of these, right? So what we probably want to then include are ital weight. So if I put this here, So italics is 0, 0, 1, 1. So if I do this and this, I'm probably going to get rid of all the different variants. Nope. Nope. It really doesn't like that semicolon? Okay, all right, all right, all right. All right. Display block. Now, we have this as text here. If I decode this like this, what do I get? It's an infinity symbol. Okay. Now if I take this and say encode. Actually, you know what? If I go here and do, instead of JSON stringify, like this is just a string, right? And then if I do encode URI component, like that, like that, and I end up with this monster of a string, like that. But now, can I just say and text equals this? And if I now stick that here, what happens? Now this happens. All right, one step closer. And if I look at the resulting font, how big is it? That's ultimately what matters. Clear. Load. Disk cache. Disable cache. 26 bytes. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. All right, 14 kilobytes. 14 kilobytes isn't too bad, right? Now, this one here currently loads, disable cache, loads 556 kilobytes. And if I replace it with something along these lines here, and that was the final, no, that wasn't the final version. That was the final version. So if I take this, leave that there, stick that in here, like that. Now if I put that into our HTML file here, and just do this basically, no, not do this. What did I just do? We do this up here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then get rid of that. And then call this Noto Sans. What does that look like? Don't think it loaded the Noto Sans, that's for sure. Noto Sans. Family Noto Sans. Family Noto Sans. Font style no, font weight 400. Okay. Head style. Import that. Get rid of the quotes? Don't know. So it loads this thing in here. Probably because there was a single quote in that list. Well, no, it shouldn't be, because it was URI encoded. Don't know why there's some characters not encoded, but okay. Yeah, there's the single quote. All right. So now if I look at this, And I'll say font family Noto Sans. What I don't see it is where it's actually loading the font itself. I see it loading this, but I don't see it loading that unless it is, presumably it's telling it that it already has that. Now, what if we just stick that in here, raw? Can we manipulate it that way? If I stick that in here, like that, and I just do this. Nope. If I do this, does that change things? If I call it Noto Sans X. Like that. Nope. Okay. Payload. Payload. Response. No response. 13.4 kilobytes. All right, so this is it. Sorry. So that seems to work. So in theory, I should be able to now open new tab, and it should save it down here. And I should be able to take that saved thing here, whoop, and then just copy that over here, call it Noto Sans Sudoku, right? And then we should be able to say, similar to what we did over here, WOF2, get rid of that, and do this and this, Noto Sans Sudoku. And I'm guessing we then can talk about fallbacks and all that stuff. That doesn't work. This works. So we have a 13.3 kilobyte font, which is reasonable. I mean, we could shrink it down by not including whatever, right? And we could potentially even completely outsource this by just making that import call. Yeah. So this is... And now I just had a wicked idea. I mean, we could in theory only include the characters that are in the current puzzle. So every puzzle gets its own custom font. The problem with that is then it won't get cached, right? So what we probably should do is we should, or what I would like to know is if I can, because it mentions something regarding, like, can I load multiple versions of the same font with different glyphs and have them over like display swap? Like, what does the display mean, right? Because then what we could do is we could have a font with all the basic stuff, the digits, the numbers, and anything that has, let's say, I don't know, more than 10 uses in here, like these arrows and stuff. Everything up to this area here, right? Or maybe a bit higher. Maybe everything that has a 5 or more, let's say, or or anything that has more than 2, let's say. I don't know. And then the rest we can dynamically pull in according to the puzzle, right? That is an idea, and that might work. And that way, every puzzle, if those characters exist in Noto Sans and the Google API works, well, it might be a bit sluggish and whatever, but at least we'll never have a situation where the symbols never come through. But even without that, 14 kilobytes extra, I mean, the site is a little bit chunky, but 14K is not going to make the big difference. I mean, right now we're sitting at 960K, right? So we would be adding about 15%. And I think a lot of people would argue that, you know, that extra font support. Now, the real issue is which characters are currently not being used because support isn't there that could be used if support was there. And the other issue is that support still won't exist in FPuzzles. So any character that FPuzzles won't support, people probably won't put in, right? Even though a system with a dynamic loaded font could support anything that Noto supports, which is a larger list of characters, right? And ultimately, it would be nice to have a kind of a check that says, hey, these puzzles, these characters are supported, these aren't, etc., you know? Also, look at that. 4 million double quotes. That's 4 megabytes of double quotes alone. That's what you get with JSON. And 3 megabytes of commas. Holy moly. 1.6 megabytes of ease. Wow, that's impressive. A lot of ease. Wow. And then a lot of 1.5 megabytes of pipe symbols. 1.3 megabytes of colons. My. So this is 7. That's 10 megabytes right there. That's the entire, this is as big as the entirety of the Logic Masters Germany database. With the, well, there the data's encoded, right? All right, I think we don't have a programmatic thing that works right now, but we're pretty close to like potentially putting something in and might actually make it into the next release. Because I think it's relatively low risk, this sort of thing. Like if I just include that font, it might make the puzzle look a bit funny because it's a different font than what's currently used. Although I say that, and maybe notice what I'm already using as the primary font. Maybe not. I think it might be Roboto. So if we look at what's being used inside the SVG, Tahoma, Verdana, Roboto, Oxygen, Ubuntu, Sans Serif, right? So yeah, it might look a bit weird, but it might also be worth just switching the whole thing over, right? So let's say if we change this to, if we change this to Noto Sans with a space, I think. So it doesn't really change much. And I don't know, let's see, text. And so it might already be using Noto Sans because of that reason. I didn't see a change, to be honest. Although, does it look different? I'm not sure. Noto Sans. Oh yeah, definitely different. Very different, actually. But not necessarily worse. I think this looks nicer. But it's a little smaller. I don't know actually which of these is correct. Noto Sans with a space or without. All right. I think that's what I'm going to call the stream today. This was just a quickie. I was thinking about this. I was seeing some remarks regarding the candles and something we've been thinking about for a bit now. And it would solve a lot of problems, right? You know, you would have these candles instead of these candles, right? I think. I hope. Is that what we're where are the candle? I didn't actually see the candle yet. The candle should be on this list, shouldn't it? Ah, here we go. Yeah, okay, so that would be the light candle. Now, the problem here is that there might be other characters where people have been designing the puzzles on, let's say, Safari, whatever, where the character that is included here is not the one that they expect. I don't know much I can do about that, though. So that's something we're going to have to kind of just agree on. Let's say, oh, standardize on Noto, and, you know, change your font to Noto if you want to edit with the fonts that you want to see, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not going to add a font selection to the puzzle data. I think that'll go too far. I'd rather work on SVG support. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're all looking forward to this release. We'll have the colors, we'll have the fog, and maybe we'll have this and a whole bunch of little bug fixes and improvements. And, oh, by the way, thank you very much for the support on Patreon lately. That's been slowly going up. I think we're now at 89, almost at a 90, and very soon to 100 as well, which would be absolutely awesome to reach. By my calculations, every patron pays roughly for an hour of my time. So I'm almost at 2.5 months of paid work every year, just from Patreon alone. That's quite impressive. That's quite a lot, actually. That's a good fraction. No, wait, 2.5 months. No, 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks. Yeah, but it's something, right? It's a start. Anyway, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And, you know, if you want to support and you haven't yet, patreon.com/SvenCodes. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for stopping by. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.